We want to start with a short prayer, and anybody who is touched can lead us in a short prayer, then we can start. Yes, I'm told the Reverend Minister wants to do that for us.
All right, shall we be upstanding if you can? Let's pray. So we are praying. Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for giving us a bright day like this. We are referencing you and we are inviting you into our meeting. We are about to start today's meeting. Father, we invite you to be with us. At the end of the day, Lord, we shall give glory to your name. Those on their way coming, grant them the mercies to join us. And collectively we shall say, God, you have done it. This and many other things we ask through your Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord, one God, forever and ever. Amen.
Even though we are behind time, I think it's also very important we know who is here, so that at least it gives us opportunity to interact whilst we are here during the coffee break, the lunch, and also sports people and institutions where we can engage them for future opportunities. So I would want to request that we introduce ourselves, our name, the institutions that we are coming from. I think that's enough. Unless you have something important you want to add, these two will be okay for us. So I want to start from this part of it. So if you don't mind, I'll hold the mic, then you speak.
My name is Michael Aye from Ghanaian Times.
Good morning. My name is Linda Sapoy Champong from Pro Environment Africa.
My name is Esi Dazi from Pro Environment Africa.
Good morning. My name is Richard Mate from the Africa Youth Initiative on Climate Change, Ghana.
My name is Benjamin Abugri, and I work for the Forum for Agricultural Research in Africa.
Good morning. My name is Morris Ogbete. I work with GTV.
I am Jamila Akulekechi, Daily Guide.
Mahama Muslim, UTV.
My name is Gifty Jagegoba, Parliamentary Service.
Good morning. I am Jason Goka from Greener Impact International.
Jonathan Goka, CASA Initiative, Ghana.
Ebo Boche, President Ghana Plastic Manufacturers Association and also President Plastic Producer Responsibility Organization, Ghana.
Good morning. My name is Kingsley Adofuado, EcoBank.
Good morning. My name is Gloria Jifaguze, Safe Water Network.
Good morning. My name is Ramatu with MOPA, Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs.
Gifty Diabache, Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund.
Joyce Jeche, GBC Radio.
Hello, Ndeikumba Keita, Project Officer from Centre de Suivi Écologique, Deliver Partner in this project. Nice meeting everyone. You can hear me? Okay, I'll start over. Ndeikumba Keita, Project Manager from the Centre de Suivi Écologique in Dakar, Delivery Partner in this project. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. My name is Kwajua Irebi Frimpong. I work as a program specialist at the UNDP Ghana office.
My name is Joycelyn Smith from Ministry of Finance.
I am Frida Achem from the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. Eunice Opokweje, Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs.
Justine Abediakon, Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs.
Porsche Mensa, 350 Ghana reducing our carbon.
Emmanuel Texan, Arusha, Ghana.
Samolana from Foundation for Future Christian Workers International.
Concern Health Education, Isaac Ampoma.
Eric Abozo, Jeff CSO Network.
Vincent Boche, Ghana CSO platform.
Jibril Ahmed, Directorate of Crop Services, Ministry of Food and Agri.
Frank Oche, Multimate Logistics.
Farouk Anderson, National Development Planning Commission.
I'm watching Kenneth, Khan, Ghana.
Anita Ankara, Ghanaian Times.
Efia Usu Ansarina, HATOF Foundation.
Thank you very much. There are two groups of people who have not introduced themselves. I want to attend to one here. The two groups are the late comers and we, those who have still not introduced ourselves. Yes, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Good morning. Please, my name is Daniel Anumtebi from Ministry of Finance.
John Sobin, Ministry of Finance.
Then there is another group on my right who are avoiding introduction.
Good morning. I'm Mary Jane Enchel with the PMU.
Good morning. Nanama Goodman, HATOF Foundation.
Good morning. Valerie Notako, HATOF Foundation.
So that is one group. Then in the middle is myself. My name is Foster Abuaji Jemfi. I would be moderating today's session. There is another group behind me. You see their table is higher than ours. I would introduce them, but would want us to do something. If you listen to the introduction, we have diverse institutions in this room. It tells you that this launch is very important. We have especially the media present with us here. And your presence means whatever is going to take place today, the good side is going to be reported for people to know. The other group of people is the CSOs organizations. The CSOs, that's the civil society organizations. We also have the network also here. We also have our important people who normally provide support in a lot of ways. Our development partners are also here. We have government institutions here. We have the private sector here. And it's very key I let you know the kind of people who are here. So I just reiterated the various institutions that are here so that you can take advantage and take opportunities to interact. So after that, I would want the high table to introduce themselves. They are beautifully seated and smiling to us. So starting from my own boss.
My name is Adwa Freku from Ministry of Finance and the ND Secretariat.
My boss is always avoiding that side. She's also my boss, so she's the head of the climate change, the NDA. And she's the alternate person. So if Dr. Alassa is not there, she's the only person who can sign your letter. I'm the only person who knows that information.
Samuel Doche is my name. I'm the coordinator of this program.
Normally, people try to hide a lot of things. I told you I have all the information. He forgot to say that he's the current doctor in town, Dr. Doche. He also is... He is also a member of the NDA Technical Advisory Committee. So if you want a proposal to go through the NDA, that's why I say take advantage and interact.
Bonjour, my name is Amadou Sall from Centre de Suivi Écologique based in Dakar. Thank you.
Amadou is my latest friend. And you know, we're going to talk about a readiness that is new in town. And if you want to get yourself associated with Amadou, you should remember that you can interact with him now, ensure that you are part. My attention has been drawn to the fact that Dr. Doche has more introductions to be made, but some of them I'm going to reserve. If he decides to mention, fine. If he does not, I'll let everybody know. Thank you very much. Now, where we've gotten to is important. We hear some speeches and know why we are here, the stories and all that. When we are done, I'm sure you get more flesh to add up. So without much ado, I would want to invite CSC to, CSC is the delivering partner for the readiness that we're going to launch today to make a state, no, sorry. We're going to invite the one who invited us here. That's the project coordinator, Dr. Samuel Doche, the latest doctor, and also government appointee. That one, he will say it himself, to give us the welcome address first. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And once again, you are most welcome. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, fellow civil society actors, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Please allow me to welcome you to this memorable event, the first of its kind in Africa, where a civil society organization partnering with an NDA has been granted an opportunity to utilize the resources from the Green Climate Fund. Let me also welcome my colleagues from CSE Senegal and express my deepest thanks to them for agreeing to be our delivery partner when we approached them in 2018. Today's event marks the beginning of a journey that is going to transform the civil society engagement with the Green Climate Fund and the government of Ghana in the area of climate change advocacy, technical understanding, and above all, working together to strengthen the institutional collaboration between civil society and the state. Let me also indicate that Ghana is privileged to have a very vibrant civil society organizations working at the grassroots level to ensure that the development of the country, especially when we come to talk of climate change, biodiversity conservation, and sustainable land management, is done in a synergetic manner. I wouldn't talk too much, but just to indicate that I am highly impressed by your presence here, and more especially the media grace this occasion. I don't want to go into the challenges of climate change, and for that matter, with our country. We have witnessed a number of impacts that we have documented over the years. So it is just appropriate that opportunities like this, we take advantage and address the issues as we carefully elaborated them in our nationally determined contributions, which we updated and submitted to the UNFCCC last year, December, at the COP26 in Glasgow, UK. On that score, I want to say, Miawezo. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Doche, for that brief welcome with a conclusion of Nya Wezo Lo. You see, they tell you that I'm a learner, so I'm saying it 1-1. Yeah, so it means welcome. Yes, we are all learning. That's good. So we want to take a message, a statement from the CSC, Amadou, my good friend, and
dear project coordinator, dear CSO representative, dear NDA representative, mesdames et messieurs. On behalf of General Director of the Centre de Suivi Écologique, Professor Cheikh Mbow, I'm very pleased to be here in Accra and to participate in this GCF CSO Readiness Program launch. The Centre de Suivi Écologique, CSE, in Senegal, is a national entity whose core activities include environmental monitoring, natural resource management, climate change, and also conduct environmental impact assessment. CSE, Centre de Suivi Écologique, is the first national institution accredited as an implementing entity of the adaptation fund under direct access in 2010. Furthermore, Centre de Suivi Écologique is within the first to be accredited to the Green Climate Fund in 2015. Centre de Suivi Écologique is a part of many African initiatives. I can mention Jeunesse Africa. Jeunesse Africa, founded by African Union, and Jeunesse Africa, CSE is the lead, the Centre de Suivi Écologique is the lead of a consortium including 12 African institutions, and Ghana is a member of this consortium, the program Jeunesse Africa. I can also mention Obapao, where we are housing the Biodiversity Observatory in West Africa, and also WACA program, that is a program who try to address coastal erosion. This program is led by Centre de Suivi Écologique. This is to illustrate how Centre de Suivi Écologique engagement and expertise goes beyond Senegal but reaches the whole African continent and above. The Green Climate Fund and civil society organization Readiness Program in Ghana aims to raise awareness and build technical and institutional capacity of CSO to develop and submit to the GCF, the Green Climate Fund, one high-quality concept note, and also to contribute efficiently to the national determined contribution. With the support of the NDA, the HATOF Foundation and other stakeholders, we are here to guide, to monitor, and to supervise the implementation of the Readiness program. Thank you.
Thank you for that brief statement. That is from the delivering partner. I'm sure some of you are wondering, delivering partner. We'll come to explain it much better in details. Now, we also want to take a goodwill message from one of our very important development partner, that is UNDP. They've been supportive of the process and where we are now, so we want to give them opportunity to give us a goodwill statement. So, Mr. Kwejo Airebi Frimpong, my good friend and brother. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Foster Jemfi. Good morning, everyone. The project coordinator, representative of CSC, members of CSOs, the media, ladies and gentlemen here present, all protocols observed. For us at UNDP, I think this is really grand. We are really honored that we have been invited here to be part of this memorable launch. I think it was somewhere in 2017 that Dr. Samuel Doche first mentioned to me his desire to submit a request for accreditation, for readiness support. And I remember at the time thinking that that was quite novel, but I wasn't quite sure how it was really going to turn out. And now here we are, a couple of years down the line, really coming to a point where we are actually launching it. And it really is a testimony of the desire, I think, personally, I think Dr. Doche, but also of CSOs, that in spite of the fact that if you look at how the GCF has structured the readiness, it really doesn't allow a lot of room for the sort of things that I think this kind of readiness is really structured to look at. But I think with the kind of perseverance and the desire to ensure that CSOs really can make a contribution to how we really effect and implement our climate action in Ghana, really we are here today to really launch this. And at UNDP, I think we are really happy that we are really having this to kick off. We would really want to say that we are open to support the whole process. And as the experience we've gathered in implementing readiness, especially with the GCF goes, we are hoping that we can also be able to bring our experience and expertise to bear whenever we are required. And we are hoping that together with all CSOs here present, we will really come a couple of years down the line to see that the interventions and the activities that we've put together have really impacted in the way that we are hoping it will impact. We are wishing that this thing really have the impact that is needed, and we know that together with Dr. Toche and the team, and also with the NDA and their support, we will get to a point where we've actually seen the fruition of these things. I'd like to mention one final thing before probably I leave the stage. What we have been able to do over the years really has set the stage for a lot of things. The NDA has been able to put together a GCF country program. I think that these are some of the things that I would entreat all of us here present, especially the CSOs, to really take a critical look at, especially as we implement this readiness, so that we can see how going forward the country program, especially for the GCF, can be a living document that can also continue to inform the future interventions that we try to do when it comes to the issue of climate action in general, but also, of course, when it comes to GCF readiness programs in future. I'd like to thank you all for this opportunity, and I wish you all a lot of success as we implement this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ayirebi, for that memorable statement. At this moment, I would also want to take advantage of and mention that some important people have also joined us. One is my own colleague, Robert Mensah. We're supposed to be running shifts on 3 other programs, but because of the importance of this launch, he has to pass through. Then, Robert, if the people can see you, because we want to take advantage and see how we can interact and take something home. We also have in our midst Dennis Apreku from the Ministry of Finance with the UN system. Then Madam Faustina Boache. The reason why I'm introducing her is I don't know whether somebody has taken a cursory look at the room, and if somebody can guess what I'm thinking. Out of the total number of people over here, it's the first time I'm seeing almost a balance. More women in the room. Well, I am going to interrogate Dr. Doche and the team to find out how they did it, because I have been to a lot of programs. So I think, Madam, you would be smiling to the end. So thank you very much. And the good reason why I made this statement is that the next person to come on stage is also a gender activist. By default, a gender activist by implementation. So I want to invite my own boss, Madam Mrs. Ajua Freku. There's one name that I am only permitted, I'm the only person who is permitted to mention. When she's leaving, I will mention. Please, welcome.
Thank you, Foster.
Thank you, Madam.
Now
You know, that's
least.
my boss.
Yes.
You always have to make sure that everything is done well. You don't want problem.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Director of Government Agencies, the CSC representative, DPs, NDA Technical Advisory Committee members, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I extend the warmest regards from the Honorable Minister and the National Designated Authority Focal Person, Dr. Alassane Idrisu, who had wanted to be here, but currently the 2 of them are in the IMF spring meetings in Washington, so they couldn't be here. On their behalf, I want to welcome all of you to this very important program, which is the launch of the GCF CSO Readiness and Preparatory Support Program. It is not easy to get a project approved by GCF, I must say. It takes commitment and hard work. That is why I want to express my sincere thanks to all the stakeholders who have been supportive of our work and continue to ensure that we deliver on our mandate. We could not have come this. Ayebi mentioned something small, but Dr. Doche can attest what he went through to get this program approved. Even before it left Ghana, he went through a lot. He met the committee members, and they took him through, excuse for my language, hell. Mr. Doche, why this, remove this, add this, what is this? And sometimes it can be so frustrating. But because he was so dedicated and he wanted this program to come to pass, today we are all standing here, sitting here to launch this program. So the purpose of today's program is to officially launch the Civil Society Organization Readiness and Preparatory Support Program, which will be implemented for the next 24 months. As you are already aware, Ghana is a member of the UNFCCC and a party to the Paris Agreement. And together we have two primary objectives. We are all part of it, to eradicate extreme poverty and hold global temperature rise to below 2 degrees Celsius from pre-industrial levels. And achieving this means giving equal balance to the 3 dimensions of sustainable development, that is economic, social, and environmental. And climate change has growing impact on all these 3 areas. Addressing it, therefore, is an imperative. It is also one of our greatest opportunities if we decide to engage in its solution. The national determined contribution, which reflects the country's ambition for reducing emissions, taking into account all our domestic circumstances and capabilities, has been approved. And the country has gone ahead to develop its project for implementation. And it is estimated that Ghana will need between 9.3 billion to 15.5 billion to implement it. In 2015, Ghana received its first readiness support. And I must say that that was not from the Green Climate Fund. That was a support from UNDP, the UN Environment, and World Resource Institution. It was to prepare Ghana to engage with the GCF and to enhance our access to GCF financing. Subsequent to that, Ghana has received 4 readiness from the GCF, and it has supported Ghana to have a better engagement with the Green Climate Fund. And these beneficiaries include the NDA itself, and it has helped us to achieve a number of projects and programs or activities. I can't mention all of them, but at least it helped us to develop our country program for GCF, which will help us to send programs to GCF for funding. It also helped us to come out with one national entity. You know, GCF does not give it funds. Even if they approve funding for you, they don't give the money to you to put into your account. They need an institution that they can trust. And before then, we didn't have any. So we're depending on UNDP, UNEP, and other regional and international entities. But with the support of the readiness, we were able to get EcoBank to be one entity. And I encourage all other institutions here, if you are interested, you can become an accredited entity to GCF. All these supports that I mentioned has prepared and helped Ghana to receive, to send a number of projects to GCF. About 11 proposals has been sent to GCF for funding, and about 8 of them has been approved. Together, I think we have about 442,968,000 cedis in total. So this particular readiness then is the 5th readiness support that is expected to raise awareness and build the technical institutional capacities of CSOs to support the NDA and to effectively respond and to integrate climate change adaptation and mitigation into relevant existing and future programs and projects. So far, we have been able to establish the project management unit. And yesterday, we had the first steering committee for this program, which approved the work plan and also the budget to be spent for the next 6 months. Ladies and gentlemen, ambitious and decisive action, if sped up and scaled up at every level, can unlock the huge investment necessary for mitigating climate change empowering sustainable development. Dr. Doche said that this program is the first of its kind. It means that it has opened the way for any CSO organization here who is interested to follow the example that Dr. Doche has. Ghana is entitled to $1 million per year for readiness. So you can apply if you are interested. You can apply to Ministry of Finance if you are interested, and because we need more programs, we need more actions. All of us together have to do this. Yesterday I was going to drop my daughter, 6 years old, and there was somebody burning along the roadside, and it's burning, and she said, "Oh, why? They are causing air pollution." And I was so excited, 6-year-old, talking about air pollution at that time. So we can all do it. We have to come together, and one person cannot do it, all of us, because climate change is so cross-cutting. It affects all of us, every sector. So let's put our hands together and do it. The longer we wait, the greater the cost to communities, to businesses, to economies, and to our planet. Therefore, on that note, I wish to declare that this particular program, GCF CSO Readiness and Preparatory Support Program, is duly launched.
We can do it better, we can do it better, we can do it better.
We look forward to a great engagement and urge stakeholders to engage in frank discussions and look forward to your participation in the capacity building program. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, we have the GCF CSO Readiness and Preparatory Support officially launched, and now we hit the ground running. And I'm very happy we have somebody leading the gender front. We have Madam Faustina here, my boss here, all of us here who will support that agenda. She also mentioned that out of the earlier support, we've been able to get a lot of projects approved. I think all of us need to acknowledge the fact that we've supported this process. We've also gotten one institution accredited. That is really wonderful. In some countries, they don't have any institutions accredited. In addition to that, and I also want to take advantage of this to also say that the institution that has been accredited, EcoBank is represented in the room. My own friend, Kingsley. Kingsley, see, I'm introducing everybody. I don't want to keep it for myself. Kingsley is here. You can interact during the coffee break or lunch. So, having heard the speeches and all that, I think it's important we have our group picture, because some people would want to leave. We want to take the group picture downstairs. When we are done, we'll come and have the first presentation, and in that order. We just adjusting the program so that we can have the first session, have the good picture. So the high table is ready. We are all ready. The photographer, are you ready?
This far, without the support of all our stakeholders, including all of you seated here, and most especially.
Sometimes like divine. The very important person I want to introduce has gotten closer to me. That is Madame Gifty Jiaje Goba. Is that correct? Yeah. She's the clerk of parliament. Parliamentary? Senior? Oh, senior assistant. Okay. In the public service, if you are not very careful and you take somebody's post, you'll be in trouble. So, who has taken key interest in climate change, and especially Mr. Doche's project. So I think it's important we acknowledge her. The other person I also want to introduce, very interesting. It's my good friend from the Forestry Commission, Charles. You know why I want to introduce Charles? Because Charles is coming from an institution, the only institution, apart from the readiness that we've gotten, the only institution that has a project from the GCF running. So it's for good reasons. I'm introducing them so that you can get closer. Today I'm being generous. I want you to get closer and interact, because they have $30.1 million from the GCF, in addition to a co-financing of about 24 million that they'll be implementing for seven years. I'm very generous. I want us to also take advantage and also benefit. So where we've gotten to is to have presentations, and unfortunately, the one moderating is the one going to do the presentation. The woman who launched the program, I think it's also important I add to it. She's left, but she's Mrs. Ajua Freku, and she's the latest Chief Economics Officer at the Ministry of Finance. She has a very big post. So, and also I told you, I'm the only one who knows that information. When the NDA is not there, she's the only person who can sign your letter. I told you to get close. Those who didn't, you've lost the opportunity. So, I want to be snappy. The main focus will be on the presentation that will be done after mine, but just to open the way, those who are familiar with the Holy Book, I am the John the Baptist. So I want to just share some light on the GCF, what we are doing, the GCF, what we are doing as Ghana, what we've been able to achieve. Then, based on that, we will know what's next. So I always have a simple story. I don't know it much. When I joined, the process had kicked start. And the story is so long that I will always want to start from. In 2010, when we were at school, they will ask, and it did this, so continue. In 2010, GCF was set up as a multilateral fund, and the biggest until COVID. Until COVID, it was the biggest in the world. At its first replenishment, it was able to mobilize a little over 10 billion United States dollars, which was huge. That money has been utilized, and they are looking forward to the next replenishment. And this is how they have been. They've been able to support climate change intervention, and I'm sure when Mr. Doche takes the floor, he will tell you where, Dr. Doche will tell you where they came from. The Khartoum, the Kyoto, the 1992. Me, I wasn't there. So I came to meet GCF. So in the GCF, they have a simple structure. They don't engage institutions direct. They engage countries. And to do that, they ask countries to set up a point of entry. And at a stakeholder engagement like this, we agree that the Ministry of Finance should play that role because of its coordinating role, financing, and also strategically position. So the Ministry of Finance is acting as the NDA for the GCF. The NDA simply means the National Designated Authority. This is not the constitutional authority that we have. This is within the circles of the GCF. And within the GCF, Before you can access funding, you need to have an entity. And it's also important I explain this. One of them is an accredited entity. An entity, the GCF has reviewed their document, had interactions with them, is comfortable that they can transfer money to them, they disburse and account for it. I'm sure the CSOs here are looking at transparency and all those things. The GCF, that is how it is. Again, in terms of transferring money to entities, they are twofold. They are the accredited entity whom they would transfer monies in 10 millions and all that. Then there's also another layer they call the delivering partner. That's why you heard CSC is delivering partner. They provide softer grants for them to help build capacity. So it's important we know this. Then to get to the GCF, you need to develop a project or a program. So the readiness, the funding proposals, the simplified approval process, and all those before you can get money from the GCF. Then what forms of money can you get? That is the financial instrument. Can get loan, grants, guarantee, equity, and all that. So this is how it is. With the GCF, they have a focus area, and they call it a strategic resource area. And those who are familiar with the climate environment, the idea is to reduce emission and also increase resilience. To reduce emission, we are looking at transport, we are looking at forestry, we are looking at the energy sector, access to energy, renewable, and all that, to be able to ensure that we reduce. Then resilient, looking at livelihood, food security, we are looking at infrastructure, build ecosystem, and all that. I think these are how the GCF work. And to be able to ensure that we satisfy the requirement within the GCF has an investment criteria. They would want to see your proposal respond to the needs that has been they have been given as a mandate. So your proposal should have the impact potential. It should bring about innovation. It should be looking at adaptation and mitigation area, sustainability, and all that are very key in the GCF. But in the nutshell, the idea of the GCF is to ensure that there's low carbon emission and also the fight to ensure that we have net zero. So this is all that we are pushing. And I always say, the CSOs are good friends of mine, and I'm sure those who are aware can attest to it. When I come, I tell you things I can't say anywhere. The only thing I ask you, if you can put the recorders down, then I can tell you, please, you are the ones on the ground. Without you, nothing can be done. Ministry of Finance can implement projects. So if you don't get proposals for funding, there's nothing that can be done. So you need to build your capacity. That is why this launch, that is why this program, this readiness program, was purposely dedicated to CSOs. When the NDA had their readiness, we shared it across board. We helped the accredited entities, we helped the private sector, we helped a lot of sectors. But for yours, it's dedicated to the CSOs. The others is an opportunity to learn from it. So do not miss out on this opportunity. Now, in terms of process, there are two main processes. For the funding proposal, very cumbersome and all that, but if you follow it very well, you get through. And you need not worry yourself, because if you have an accredited entity who understands the process, all that you need to do is to help develop the proposal, then they will facilitate everything. So when the proposal, you develop the proposal, it comes to the NDA, it's looked at, it's approved and all that, it goes to the GCF, it goes through a certain process. It goes to the Secretariat, the Secretariat will look at it, ITAP and all those things. It gets to a certain point when it's okay, it will go to the board, and the board will approve. And again, let me pause to say something. CSOs are very important in this discussion and this environment, because whichever proposer will go to the GCF at a point that is going to the board for approval, and they do it whether intentional or don't know whether it's by default, at the latest they'll send this proposal to the CSOs, especially those who are accredited, to look at it whether they are familiar. If they are not familiar, that is it. So you play a key role. But to be able to do that, you need to build your capacity so that you can comment on these things. So please take advantage of this. Now, that is for the funding proposal. But for the readiness, it's just straightforward. If you develop a proposal, you engage the NDA and no objection is given, it gets to the Secretariat, they review it, and they think it's okay, it's approved, and you sign a grant agreement, and that is it. So readiness are straightforward. Okay, so like I did say, when the proposals has gone through all the process and it's about to be approved, the GCF has opened a window where some CSOs have applied. So it's not automatic to everybody. Some CSOs have applied. They opened the window recently. I sent it to Jonathan. I sent it to a number of the network to share, so that you can show interest. Because when you apply, they will look at your institutions, the documentation, whether you've been running your accounts, you have an audit, you have the books that shows, because the GCF doesn't want to engage anybody at all. One-man show and all those things, no. They want to see whether it's a proper civil society organization. In terms of when it's gone to ITAP and is about to be considered at the board, they'll circulate it to the accredited CSOs in country. Because in the CSO's requirement, you are expected to do stakeholder engagement, a very comprehensive requirement. So if you are done stakeholder engagement like we are doing today, and I can tell you, if GCF should say that the readiness for CSOs, did you do a launch or engage the civil society as part of implementation? This is our first point of communication. Yes, we launched it. We had almost 50 people coming. In it, we had about 25 women. In it, we had civil society coming from this and that. We have our report to attach. We have our tenant sheet to attach. Stephanie, this is all. So if I want to develop a proposal, after I've done all the desktop and all those things, I should have an engagement like this. And if you come to me, somebody met me, I think, about 2 weeks ago, and he said, you are really tough. Simply because I knew somebody was bringing a proposal, and the person is a good friend of mine. And I told him that it won't fly. Because you know why? If I leave tomorrow, and you met me, and you said that, oh, I brought a proposal, and because it was my friend, let it go through in front of somebody. Reputation. If I didn't make sure that you did the right thing, and I left, and there's no documentation. So he says, you're a tough man. I'm like, oh, I'm just doing my job. We would have all the nice things. So that's why today I'm telling you what you should do. So if you come tomorrow, being my friend, don't be surprised. I will smile with you, but I'll tell you what to do. So that is how it is. So in terms of, but I will come to a very important thing. So with the GCF, I said the NDA is the focal person. At the Ministry of Finance, the Economic Strategy and Research Division is where the NDA sits. And it's not an individual. Please, in some countries, this is the problem we have. In some countries, when they want NOL, no objection letter, within 2 hours it's signed for them. in Ghana here, they are process, in-country process, because climate finance is not my family property. It's the entire country. And I'll show you the reason why. So it's the director for the economic strategy. So if those who are familiar, Mr. Duche can attest, we've had 3 NDAs. Initially, it was Mr. Okuafari. Then he left. Another person came, Mr. Frimpong. Then now, Dr. Alassane Idris. Simply because it's not their property to take away. It's the position they hold. So if they are changed, if there's an announcement today that Dr. Alassane has been changed, Mrs. Freku will ask until we get a substantive director who will be replaced. That's how it is. And also, we have, because we also believe that there are technicalities, we've engaged institutions that are on the field. So we set up a technical advisory committee made up of different institutions, such as the Forestry Commission, the Ministry of Environment, we have the energy sector represented, we have gender represented, and a number of them, there are about 11 of them, yes, as shown. But knowing and realizing the importance of the civil society, we gave opportunity for, apart from civil society being represented on the committee, we gave another 4 slots where they will become observer members on the committee. So currently, I think we are about 6 or 7 CSOs that have been accredited with the GCF. So we are doing a rotation based on alphabetical order. So one has exited, one is in that manner. So this is how it's going to be for. So in terms of the no objection that we issue, it's issued to ensure that the program or the project that is going to be implemented is aligned with the country's policies first, also the strategies, because we have our NDCs, and simplify approval process is also another window. Initially, it was $10 million, but a case has been made for it to be increased to $25 million. And that one, it does not require a lot of detailed environmental impact assessment. Simplified. And at least one institution has submitted such proposal, so we can all do it. Then the funding proposal, so the full-fledged funding proposal, and they all have their quantum. So in terms of the funding proposal, you can apply between a certain, up to 250 million. So we have the micro, which is less than 10 million, above small, then medium, in that manner. So it's also very good, important that we take notice. So the long and short is that the process is rigorous, time-consuming, it requires a lot of commitment and all that. But the story is this. There is successes that the country has achieved. So we submitted 19 funding proposals. 11 of them have been approved, and this is made up of 5 readiness, 5 funding proposal, then 1 project preparatory facility has been approved, and it's amounting to 270 million in diverse area. And the remaining 8, we are pushing to ensure that it gets approved. In terms of which areas, please, madam, it's important today I'm meeting you. Number 2 on the list is program on affirmative finance action for women in Ghana, purposely targeting women in SMEs. So if I were to be you, the CSOs, these are the areas you should be targeting, where the GCF has soft spot for. Now we also have the Acumen, which is Acumen Agriculture Fund, looking at the agricultural interventions. Then we also have the Abaro Fund. We have the Ghana shared landscape emission reduction project. You see, when you are part of the beginning of something and it's been adored, you are part of it, how do you feel? You get tickled. I saw this project when it came, and when it was adored in Tamale by the Vice President, I was there. I was part of that history. And today, I'm part of the history of the CSO, the only. Now, we also have Inclusive Green Finance Initiative. This has also, so these are the readiness, the 5 readiness that I talked about. In various, the first one, which was implemented by Water Resource Commission, has been completed. The one by the NDA has been completed. The EPA one, which is focusing on the NAB, is ongoing. The Ghana Industrial Energy Efficiency is also ongoing. It should have ended, but they asked for extension, and therefore they are winding up to complete. The one we are witnessing today is the CSO one, which was approved in December, and we are part of that history, and I'm sure we need to be part of the implementation. So having said this, so this is what is left, the 8, that is. Having said this, I just want to say that since we are part of the launch, let's interrogate positively to be able to find out how our capacities can be built, to be able to develop bankable proposal, to be able to make sure that we get money to implement projects on the ground. Because this is a story. Once upon a time, I had forgotten about this thing, but I was told this story yesterday. So many, I think in 2018, I've forgotten the year. I was reminded yesterday that we're having a meeting like a technical advisory committee. I was like, everybody's complaining, CSOs. So what can we do? Then I asked, can you send me the CSOs, their emails? Then I sat like this and I sent an email. Please, can you develop a proposal using this template for us to consider for the GCF? Like 6 or something months, I never received any acknowledgement, any feedback. Then I sent another one. Then there comes the story that, so I am a committee member. He never added, but I'm adding it today. I'm a committee member. Do I qualify to submit a proposal? Then I asked, what is your name? Then he mentioned your name. Which country do you come from? Then I'm like, you're a Ghanaian. You are a citizen. You are interested in climate change. Submit a proposal. Because whether conflict or no conflict of interest, so for us, you can submit a proposal, we can make a case, and this is the proposal we are seeing. Sometimes you take it for granted that we ask you submit something. You don't know what has been discussed behind. So opportunity was given to the CSOs. The one who thought it was a conflict of interest later came and submitted. So please, I am telling this story today. Submit a proposal. Thank you very much.
They went through, it is not easy. So we are determined to be very balanced, very fair in our approach, so that at the end of the day, we can develop the capacity, because this project cannot solve all the problems in Ghana among CSOs. It cannot do that. So we cannot attempt to say that this project is going to do even half. No, it's just the beginning, so that those who have the opportunity of participating, it is hoped that the individuals will pay serious attention to capacity building, not only interested in evaluating other people's proposal. We should take it upon ourselves, make mistakes, let you be corrected. HATOF started from somewhere, made a lot of mistakes. we look onto institutions like CSE, CAN International, WWF, and the rest. Sometimes we do certain things for free in order for us to get the capacity we are looking for. So the work plan, yeah, just as I explained, these are things that some have been already done. In the subsequent weeks or days to come, we are going to do, October to next year, April. These are the things that we are going to do. So I think, do we have any other thing? No, it's the same thing, the work plan. So, and again, let me conclude by saying that when we send emails, please respond to the emails. When we send emails, please respond to the emails. I think on that score, I will say thank you for listening.
So initially I mentioned that I was just like John the Baptist. You've had it all. I'm sure you've forgotten about my questions, so there's no question for me. So now ask Doche the clarifications, the questions, the delivering partner, CSE is also here. So you can ask all those questions because mine is forgotten. So that is it. I also want to take advantage to introduce my good friend, a committee member, also work with government from the Ministry of Local Government and decentralization and rural development. These days, Eric, please, let's see your hand. So I think if we can have the mic, then the Mr. Doug, the mic is there. Doug.
As to whether do you have a youth network within the structure? And also another contribution I would like to add to make your work more easier is to meet with the network leadership and then perhaps engage them as to what you want. So then you leave it for them to now begin to engage their constituency. So all what you'll be doing is to try to monitor them to see whether they are meeting the criteria. If not, you add additional work to your already tough work. You know, the networks are already structured, and I believe all of us here belongs to one network or another. And also moving forward, we would like to see ourselves helping you to succeed. But of course, the youth and also the gender areas, look at it critically.
Mine is just to draw the attention of Mr. Foster when he was making his comment that he sent a proposal to civil society to apply for the readiness. If I may say, in this house, I'm the only civil society with HATOF who applied. And I was taken through serious vetting. At least, you know, readiness is not a cheap corner to go to. You have to go and come, go and come. No. See, it's not an easy thing, as you're seeing, because I have to be leasing my proposal writing. I have to be working from BA in Accra, connecting people, stakeholders from BA. We have a focal person. It's not an easy area to go. So I thank Doche for going through.
All right, thank you very much. I would like to commend HATOF for this great initiative and also being the first to kickstart this for Ghana. And the criteria of the 10, is it just going to be 10 people? And how many people are going to be involved? In case you finish selecting, maybe you need observers like some of us who will not be selected. Is there a place for us? Thank you.
For example, I'm the WGC Women and Gender Constituency of the UNFCCC Ghana Gender Monitor for the GFC. So, like she said, is it possible that you would invite us to your program so that we'll also see how you are mainstreaming gender and the youth thing into this, and whether the NGOs that you have, the CSOs that you have selected, some of them have gender programs and all that, that they will be used in setting the agenda and the development of the agenda and the strategies that you are going through. We are always available to help.
Wonderful. Okay, so yes, like I said yesterday, it is not iron and stone business we are doing. So once people are willing and they have passion, for me, those are even more important people than those that will be selected for us. Their interest is higher than those who will be selected. So that one, rest assured. Yes, so what, in terms of the youth, you see there's African Youth Initiative on Climate Change. There's no program that I will do that youth will be out. No way. I won't do it. So there's African Youth Initiative on Climate Change. Now, what we did was this. We look at the first, HATOF strength. We are not doing everything. We are doing climate change, biodiversity, blue economy, international climate finance, food and agriculture. Okay? So that is our strength. We cannot go and be looking at other people's strength and add to our what we cannot do. So we look at that. So when we look at that, I said, okay, we have networks. So CASA, GCF CSO network. If you want to become a member of the GCF CSO network, there is a criteria for which you have to go through. So those who went through that criteria, I know the interest, I know the capacity and the competence they have. So I did not have problem in writing to them. Okay? If you take the African Youth Initiative on Climate Change, it's African Youth Initiative on Climate Change. They have I think the sub-region, I think the immediate past executive director is from Ghana. So we have been involved in the negotiations and I know them very well. Now, Forest Watch, I have been a member of the platform before. So I know that they focus on forest. So there is no question about that. Which one? Climate Action Network International. Yesterday I was saying that HATOF is what it is today because of Climate Action Network International. Ken is a member. So after we got admitted into the UNFCCC, we joined the Climate Action Network International as a constituency dealing with non-governmental organizations admitted to the UN process, not those who are not in the process. So as a result of that, we supported them to develop a Southern capacity building program for which 20 NGOs across the global South was sponsored to learn how to do some of these things. And HATOF was one of them. There was one other NGO from Senegal, ENDA, Emmanuel Sek. Then Geoffrey from Uganda, Well from Lebanon, Mary from, what is the name? Uruguay. And then Shutri from India. We were in that network to learn how to do this. So we were very clear. So when I sent an email to some of the network leads to tell me what are their needs, their gaps, and blah, 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 their objectives, and that kind of thing. And they responded. Jonathan is here. Sometimes I called him. You say, you are worrying me? And I say, yes, I have to worry you. Because at the end of the day, you don't come to tell me that, oh, but you didn't let us know. So we did that. So everybody there, based on our capacity and what GCF will be interested in supporting when we want to develop our, full-blown proposal in the future. We believe that these people hold the key to support us to do that. That is how come that we went the path we went. Because remember, I told you that in the negotiation process, even though it's climate change, it is not everything in climate change that when they put the money into the fund, they want to support. That is where you realize that if you go to the GCF website now, watch the project and the program that they are funding. And that should give you what you should be thinking about. So it is not enough for you to say that you are suffering. Therefore, you submit a proposal. You have to be very strategic, because in COP27, new things are going to come up. And once new things are coming up, those who are providing the money will direct their money to a different thing. And another set of questions. Yes, so the networks, what we told the GCF, which was agreed with the CSC, is that we are training 40 CSOs. So 4 from each network. 4 organizations. Because networks are organizations. So the network heads will give us 4 organizations from their membership. We will not interfere in that one. We are only going to give out requirements, criteria, that should guide them to give us 4. But like I said, the clause there is balance. Because we believe that there are some women, that kind of thing. We cannot set rules for those things. No, we don't want to set rules. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes. They want a gender organization. And you realize Madam has come for Green Climate Fund, and at the same time is coming for GACO in a different workshop. In that case, what happens? But this is simple. If one network belonging to 2 or 3, and they have been nominated by these 2 networks, we only write to them that, this network, so these 2 networks should sit and agree on which one they should provide. We cannot interfere in who come from them. We don't want to do that.
It's the turn of my gender activists. So they are seated at the table position. Please, Madam.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity. The first one goes to you yourself. In your presentation, you made mention that apart from the CEOs, and as we are witnessing the launch of the readiness program today, there is funding for other groups that do not belong to this category, governmental. I found myself seated on 2 seats, and I would like you to throw a little light on how those ones could also access and use that to help in the sustenance journey that we are in. The second one is, Dr. Doche, in your presentation, as you stood here, you said it's not all about the CSOs, but then you're also looking at zealous citizens who want to impact their communities, who may be given opportunity. Throw a little light on that. How would they, if they don't belong to such network of CSOs, how would they be able to bring themselves in line to be able to provide this sustainability process to their communities, to wherever they are, to help in the climate fight? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to ask a question following up on what Madam just said. You are saying that you would want to build the capacity of CSO networks. So, and a network of CSO comprises of a number of CSOs. So what is the target? Are you intending to train each CSO within the various 10 networks? Then we are talking about hundreds of CSOs. What is your strategy? How are you intending to do it? Because are you only training the leadership of the networks, or you are going to reach the various CSOs under each network? That's what I want to know. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have two questions for Mr. Doche. This project is for readiness. Amount that you've had is for 2 years. Can you still apply for the coming year, since there is $1 million at stake yearly? Can you apply? Am I making sense? Because you are not done with one, but then it's a yearly one. So is it a program where you have to wait till you are done with what you are implementing, or you can apply for the next year's own? Then the other question, the other question is that the amount involved, we were told, is $1 million. Yeah, but you had almost half of it. So, and we are here telling NGOs that they couldn't submit, they've not been submitting good project work. That's why they are not able to get all the funding. In your case, why couldn't you get all or more than what you submitted? And going forward, how do you intend making sure that you get the whole amount? Thank you.
Foster, yeah, no?
Hello. Okay, so I think let me start from here. Do something. Then another institution could have also applied for something. Then the NDA could have applied for 300. So which means the amount there, the remaining that we didn't utilize will be gone. But it's also very important that we know something. I did indicate that it's not only this readiness, the CSO readiness that is ongoing. There are other readiness. So the year in which that readiness is being implemented, is that amount to be taken from that year. So if you don't get this thing implemented on time, it affects us as a country. That is one thing that we also need to take note. So we have the energy efficiency, which is ongoing. So this year, that 1 million, they are taking that amount, portion of that amount. The CSO one will be taking a certain amount of that 1 million. So it doesn't mean that it's only this, that all the ones that are ongoing, when it gets approved, that year of implementation, then the other question you ask whether you can apply for whilst you are, is something we haven't tried, but I remember our readiness. When it was getting to an end, we attempted to apply. This is one of the reasons why Dr. Doche's readiness has also delayed. We had a problem. Whilst we were submitting the NDA's readiness, we're given a notification that you have this readiness and you are bringing another one, there are similarities. So strategically, even without consulting anybody, I decided that, no, let's hold on to the CSO readiness. Today he's hearing it for the first time. Let's hold it on to the CSO readiness so that we don't contradict and create confusion. Because already when you are taking money from somebody, you tell it sweet, but it's not what, that's what, not what Doche is saying. What he's saying is that the money is here, let's get it done. But I'm talking about where the money is coming from. They say 1 million, but to get that 1 million, it's not easy. They will give excuses and counter reasons why they shouldn't give you. And CSC is here, so I say it as it is. So were forced to put on hold this readiness to get the NDA's own approved. Then after that, we reactivated the process. So you can do double requests at the same time. But with the experience we've had with them, you need to be very strategic. So maybe at the tail end, you can start preparing. At the tail end, then you put in the application. Otherwise, they say, this thing is similar to this. They'll give reasons. Yeah. So you can apply because we are losing out. Apart from having concurrent other readiness running, we are losing out on the 1 million. But the truth is also that currently, as we speak, the money is almost finished. We are waiting for the next replenishment. So just get your document prepared so that as soon as the money drops into the account over there, you can get. So let's, Doc. Yes. No, it doesn't say that. It's not waiting for you. Okay, so let me explain it this way. The $1 million is in a train. So when it gets to Nigeria, if you take, you take. If you don't take, it's moving. It's going. So that's how it is. So the year you don't take is gone. You have to, so we need to, that's why we are doing this capacity, so that we build your capacity and you punch us with proposal. I want to make sure that this proposal goes through. But there is something, yes, they are having the board meeting. There's something Madam said I want to also mention, her gender aspect. And it's interesting that you are here today because it's an area, if you go and look at the country program, which Dr. Doche doesn't want me to be saying every day, that is with the GCF. I specifically, intentionally put in it that we need to do a proposal focusing on gender. So I have thought about you. So you are in my mind. So gender proposal is one of the areas we want to look at in the next readiness. So like somebody asks, is it for only CSOs? Is it apart from the CSOs, do we have other areas in mind? Yes, we have other areas in mind. We have the gender in mind. We also want to look at opportunity of building capacity in green-born carbon markets because this is the area that is trending. We also want to build capacity in the area of adaptation because this is an area, the continent and Africa and Ghana as a whole, we want to be able to master it because there is an issue. When it comes to adaptation, making a business case is very difficult. Developing a bankable proposal, if Doc would confirm, is very difficult because that is not an area our donors are so much interested. So we want to build capacity so that we can bring our skills on board to be able to make a case so that we can tap funding to be able to do smart agricultural interventions and be able to ensure that our food security is guaranteed. Because if not anything at all, our food security, I won't talk about our waters. Somebody will talk about Galamsey right now.
Yeah,
So let Madam do the follow-up, please. Just a moment. Just a moment. Let's.
With the women in parliament, we have just discussed. So I'm happy you brought up the affirmative action something. So when it comes on board, the women in parliament will now be able to involve. But what I want to bring on board is these are people who help us form policies and legislate laws that binds us in this country. They don't have any capacity, or let me say, limited capacity in what you are sharing today. We do all the work. We have strong people like you. But when you push it into that house and our capacity is so low, how do we run with it? I want you to think about this. So we end up getting there and then we are frustrated and we don't get the result that we need for Ghana to move in the direction that we want to move it.
I'm not taking your enjoyment today, but you see, it looks as if there has been preemptive attempt to think about today's discussion. I had a discussion with somebody, and let me start it this way. When UNDP, who were our delivering partner for the completed readiness, they were having a discussion this morning. He made mention, oh, some money was left. And I was like, you see, I didn't want this money to go, and you let it. Simply because we had, the money that was left was to engage Parliament. So this is what happened. COVID, and also sometimes the contact person to engage. You know, when you are entering into some institution, if you don't have a contact person where you can engage, you write letters and you want, it's like, Ministry of Finance, for example, is a community on its own. And I always advise, if you bring letters over there, it will get lost. It will get lost. It's a community. Parliament is a community, and this is the house of laws. So you can't just enter. So it's good we are having you, so that anytime we include Parliament in our program, I can bet you it can go through, because you are not the only person here. Frida is here, and so now you see, now we've almost breached the gap of entering into the House of Laws. So you missed out opportunity for an engagement. There was another engagement on the African risk where I'm working on. You also missed an opportunity to engage Parliament, and you will not miss the next one. But there's something I also want to say. The questions that are coming, sometimes I would want us as CSOs to answer it, because the project is not for Dr. Doche. It's for the CSOs. The title over there is what? GCF CSO Readiness. So some of the questions that you are asking, I like them, because I also have a question to ask him. There are 2 pages. Yesterday I asked him, 3 pages. Today is 2. So as you ask the questions, some of you should also help answer the questions, so that you can strategize how you get this thing implemented. Because, you know, after this, if it goes very well, you get to develop bankable proposal. 2, you get the opportunity of exploiting other funding with the same strategy, because it's been done, it's been tested. So ask the questions, but then at the same time, you should be helping to respond to the questions. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you very much. Let me respond to, there are a number of, it will escape me. So first of all, let me take the issue on the gender thing. You know, when I spoke with Lovans, Ghana Alliance for Clean Stoves, I got the understanding that women, yes, women are there. So that gives me hope that, okay, I am not off the line. Now, when I talk about those who wanted to be observers, that kind of thing, I said that based on the fact that those individuals might have been involved with some institutions for which they don't have the privilege or the opportunity of being captured. So not an individual somewhere that will be, because it will be very difficult for us to justify why we just pick one individual. So that is that. What are some of the questions? So I think, let me also add that yesterday there was some interesting question, or yes. The program that we are going to start, at the end of the day, there is no deliverable that is saying that the program is going to give mini grant to anybody in order for that person to go and teach or whatever in their networks. We don't have the capacity to give mini grants. We can't do it. We are only training you technically, so that what we are able to do, you should also be able to do that. That's all that we are seeking to. Then, again, there have been some issues. Sometimes, let me say it for Foster. Let me say this one first. Ministry of Finance, NDA, don't have an account that money has been transferred into. So, not because I am their friend. That's where they gave me the money. They didn't give me the money. What they went, Sami, the two of us, what they took us through. If you don't have heart, you just fight with them and leave them. Aha. You see, you will be shocked that you are friends. One of them, I won't mention his name, he will look into my face. When he asks the question, then my heart will start boiling. But I will just take it in good faith and say, okay, let's continue. So that brings another civil society interest question, which is, why should the process be so frustrating? No, it's not frustrating. Not frustrating in the sense of negative frustration. But why is the process so robust that sometimes you really want to give up? Now, moving forward, can we also recommend the NDA to make it more, no, even flexible is not the word, more, let's say, the one that is there, what's the name to give it? It's like if you pass, you pass. If you fail, you fail. So let the paper speak for itself. Than seeing somebody and say, no, boy, I'm going to go through the process. No, let me respond. Let me disabuse everybody's mind. That is not what happens. You see? I want it to be by merit. The word is Yes. That is no. Please. 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 Will you listen? Give me a project title that has an adaptation rationality. A project title that has an adaptation rationality. Okay, growing trees in the northern region for the next 3 years. Who can disagree with him or or accept what he said? I want somebody to. Yes. You see?
Yes. In a project title, you have to look at the long-term impact. So with adaptation, you have to look maybe something like increasing resilience to something.
Before, Doc, before you continue, I just want to say that if you look at it, the agenda, we agreed to be winding up around 12:30. I know you want to continue to discuss. I introduce you. This is just the launch. So let's pick the most essential thing that we can see. Where do we lock ourselves to the project? How do we make sure that we are not left out and all those things, so that we continue to engage? Can you project the project coordinators' detail, email and phone number? Some have, some don't have, so that we ask the additional 3 questions. We respond snappy, then we can get things done.
Yeah, so let me quickly add that the Technical Advisory Committee does not, listen, the Technical Advisory Committee does not disqualify projects. They don't do that. They only help you to strengthen your project. And secondly, NDA or Ministry of Finance cannot stop you from submitting project to GCF. Let me also add that the only place that you can make a suggestion, Eric, the only place that you can make a suggestion is at the GCF board meetings. And The only reason for which they can allow you to ask that question is when you are an admitted observer. So if you don't belong to that group, no matter how you are dying, they won't listen to you. Members only. So if there should be any change in whatever requirement they are giving, it should go to the board. If not the board, you should go to the COP, because the GCF, the GF, the adaptation fund, they all take what we call guidance from the COP discussions. So if you have an issue with GCF, go and say it in Sharm el-Sheikh. Tell them that no, GCF, how do you call it? The COP, just let's all agree that GCF requirements are too much. So make sure you lobby the COP to now give the GCF a different legibility criteria. If you are not able to do that, then here in Accra, it will be difficult for us to do.
Okay, so, Madam, can you, okay.
1 minute, I'm adding to what he's saying.
Okay.
The thing is that the WGC sends the projects to networks, to entities and whatnot, the projects that are coming on board. For example, I'm with the Women and Gender Constituency of the UNFCCC. When the recent project in the north, the Red Plus project in the north,
I remember.
one Kenyan and I, we formed a small group and looked at the Ghana project to be able to mainstream gender consent, or to look at the project and say, well, the women are there, but how is it going to benefit them, and make suggestions. Right now, the GCF is board which decides on the projects to approve are meeting in Seoul. That's where they meet. They are meeting in Seoul now. A Nigerian woman, Titi, of course, most of them know her. Titi spoke there about a concern like yours, about why climate finance to women and to other developing country projects. Excellent presentation. And she was allowed to speak because the WGC is an observer organization. So it's nothing to do with Ghana government, the committee here, or anything. It's purely the GCF, which looks through your proposal and says, yes. And you, as a civil society organization, if you are affiliated to an organization, which is, you can write a letter which can be read there and approved by your network, and it will work.
Okay, so I'm told there's a question at the back.
Yeah. Foster, please, I just want to find out from you, just a question. In terms of expertise, and can two CSOs put their heads together and come out with a strong proposal to GCF? Is it possible?
Yeah, so he wants to know whether two CSOs can put their head together and have a proposal. I did mention right away that we need to work together to make sure that we benefit from the existing funding that exists. So I had suggested it before, and I'm saying it again. You can come together as CSOs in the country, at least. Please, let it be on record at the lunch that I suggested that as CSOs in the country, you should put yourself together and at least develop a proposal about, a bankable proposal about $10 million. Please listen to me. This is free. Consultancy free. $10 million. Because if CSOs are implementing a project of $10 million, the impact will be great. Then in terms of the co-financing, you have existing projects. You can use that as leveraging. Whichever institution you are going to use as your accredited entity can also come on board, because the project that the Forestry Commission is implementing, the co-financing is coming from 3 or 4 institutions. So you can bring that co-financing from the various projects to leverage GCF. At least the simplified, if the CSOs, you come together and you want to do a simplified of maybe the 25 million that has been proposed, That will be a laudable distance. So please come together. In terms of the technicalities of all those things, they are experts within the system. And me, I always say, if you come to me, I can hold your hand and tell you, among the 3 people over here, that this person can help you. I've done it for others and it has worked. So it's up to you. In terms of the proposal that come to the GCF, it being rigorous and all those things, can I ask a question? If you, as we went to school at the primary, and your teachers left you to learn anyhow, we, those who wrote the BC, and you wrote the BC, and you are not familiar with those questions, how will you be able to answer? So it's important that you are not going, I mentioned it in my presentation, you are not going as a country. Now, HATOF, I need to break this protocol now. Charles and Madam, I want to break this protocol now. HATOF Foundation initiated this proposal, but not long ago, I did make a statement that this project is not about HATOF, it's about CSOs. So you are going in the name of the country. So if we allow you to submit anything, do you know the implication? It's huge. So we have to make sure that in-country process, it meets the GCF requirement. That is why we developed the manual we have. So that if you qualify and you go, if, again, you don't qualify, we have never sacked anybody. He's been there how many times? 5 times. And we always say, oh, please, can you go and improve upon this aspect, this area? This is all that we do. We don't say we are sorry, we can't approve. We don't do that. So we don't approve. But sometimes when we say those things, you go home and sit on your chair. You realize that, Charlie, let me forget. It's not we. So that's why we want to. So because of this issue, we want to build capacity. And yes. So now if we have 10 network with 4 CSOs, that is 40 CSOs. And if in your own strategic environment, you decide that you want to do TOT. So for example, with Madam's specialty and area, if she can take the gender aspect, take a certain aspect, then you continue to spread the capacity that you have acquired. Because the funding that we have is not enough to reach out to all the CSOs. But beyond the CSOs, there's funding, because I did mention that we are looking at other areas. Because CSOs have been covered, we did help the private sector to develop a concept note looking at waste management. We also helped EcoBank to be accredited. Today, I need to state it because those who have the historical information need to make it clear. It's out of the first readiness that we received from UNDP, WRI, and UNEP that we supported EcoBank Ghana right all the way to the point of being accredited. So it tells you that it's not limited to a few. So we can do it. Let's take advantage. Take the details over there if you don't have it. Reach out to them because Dr. Doche is no longer a HATOF. He's acting in the capacity as the project coordinator for the CSO readiness, and he's going to do as such. Because me, you don't know me, but if you want to know me, I'll let you know me. I will smile with you, but I make sure you get it done. I'm going to make sure that, and I told him before, this readiness is get done and done in such a way that CSOs benefit from the capacity building that we're going to provide. And it's going to be done. So take advantage and don't let us meet here another time, a year or 5 years. You say, I'm not aware, because it's on record. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so on that score, so let me, my brother asked a question, I think was asked yesterday. This is the strategy. we only have selected 10 CSOs. And in the project proposal, we indicated that we are going to train 40 network members. So it is now the responsibility of the networks to now have their meeting, and whether they are going to, I don't know the means they will appoint, but we will provide them a guideline that, let's say, for example, CASA, this is your guideline. Clean Cook Alliance, take. Jeff CSO Network, the leadership, take. Go and have your meeting and look at the criteria. Give us 4 members belonging to your network. When we receive, we are going to do assessment and evaluation. Where we see that, oh, one member here is repeated here, we will draw the attention of those 2 networks that resolve it and give us another person. When that is done, because I indicated that the people that they will be selecting, that institution must come, or the person must come with a work plan, because there's going to be monitoring and evaluation. So that it is not going to be the usual so-called capacity building and blah, 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 the people who are participating, because the 40 people that will start, we would, unless, of course, Jesus Christ will come just after we start. Otherwise, we will pray that God will keep them alive so that they will go through for the period, because the training is going to be in 3 levels: basic, intermediate, and advanced. Because project proposal writing to look for money is just not easy. People think that it's just an easy thing. It is not easy. Very good. Then let me also do a little clarification on some few things. One, if you are planning to go to GCF, the first point of that what you wanted to do, we have the capacity to support you. It is not enough for you to write a proposal and bring to the committee or send to Ministry of Finance. If you do that, excuse me, you have wasted your time. Please go to the GCF. Now, in the room here, EcoBank is a delivery partner, but they are accredited as a loan giving, loan and blending. So if you want to take a loan, go to them. But if you want to have a grant, they won't do it for you, because they have not been accredited to monitor grant. Okay, so go to GCF website, go and look for their delivery partners and what they have accredited them to do. Then you can get in touch with them. That, okay, we wanted to go and collect Bola. In your entity work program, do you collect Bola? Then they say yes. Okay, they will now support you to develop the project, how to collect Bola. Okay, let me add that. Just a further clarification. The project preparatory fund, please, it is only for accredited entities. If you go to them with a project, then they believe that this is good, but the data to support it is weak. Then they will then agree with you and write to GCF that, okay, these people brought a very nice project and we think that we can support them, so we need $1 million or 500,000 or 800,000 in order to go and do some feasibility studies and blah, blah, blah. Then come and do a very nice concept note for you. Then when that is done, the money is sent to them, the delivery partner. They won't send the money to you. As we stand here, we don't have the money. The money is with them. They can only release the money when there is a project or when there is an activity. If no activity, the money is there. So nobody should come to HATOF that, okay, we let that you have far effort. So can you give us some work to do? No, we can't do that. Then again, the simplified application process. It should be an ongoing program, right? Very good. Yes. Very good. If you have a new ideas, they will listen to you. And then again, there's at the committee level, there's one thing. You see, the project preparatory fund, a concept note have to be approved by the board.
So to make it simple, for the PPF, you should have come to us. We have agreed your proposal before you come later to say that. So it's not about you. It's the accredited entity. So I think that one it should be clearer.
There was one group of people who came to the committee. They came, and after they have spoken finish, then I told them that they don't have a project. And they were like, but we told you project objective. I said, yes, you don't have a project. This is not a project. You only came to converse with us. And they have difficulty in agreeing with me. But at the end of the day, they agree with me that they don't have a project, even though they have a project with a budget. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Doug, for that insightful presentation. Where we've gotten to is two things that is left. One, my good friend here is going to give us the closing remark. Then after that, we pray and close.
Thank you, everyone, for this very nice debate that we just had. As a closing remark, I just wanted to say that,
Please, my people say they want to see you. She is, she's from CSC, the delivering partner. I introduced her earlier, but I need to mention again. So you'll be seeing her from time to time or engaging with her maybe through virtual means. So, Kumba.
Yes, so I was saying, as a closing remark, what I wanted to say is that what Dr. Dusty is doing is really, really great work, but he can't do everything. As I was saying, I usually say the money is here to be grabbed. If you look at it as a whole, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, it's so hard. This is too robust. This is et cetera, et cetera. But until they, how can I say it? They make their procedures easier. You cannot just wait for them to make the procedures easier. You got to start small and make it bigger. They have many, many facilities, like the PPF. They even have technical assistance. Once you find your delivery partner, the delivery partner usually have the technical abilities to help you build your project. Once they like, oh my gosh, this idea is really amazing. This is a great team. The GCF is going to approve it. They're going to assist you to make the project bankable. So don't be scared. Don't be like, their procedures are hard. I cannot do this. I cannot make it. Don't think like that. Like Dr. Dutzy said, in 2018, once he only had an idea, and it was a lot of back and forth. When the GCF sends you their comment sheet, you're going to be scared. A lot of questions asked. You got to prove this. You got to prove that. Why there's this? Why there's that? Why the budget is like this, etc. But you got to argue with them. Argue what you're saying, explain, give proof, and move on. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it takes you 4 years to get a project approved. You're going to start in 2016, 2022, you're here. We have projects that we started writing in 2017, and we're still going back and forth with them. But like she said, the observers are there in the board meeting. They have to make their case and say, y'all gotta be lenient with the procedures, but it's not done yet, but we can't wait for them. So the money is there. Just find your delivery partner that fits your project and go from there. Don't be scared to tackle it. Just go for it. Thank you. And congrats, Dr. Dusty. I know you're my friend. I know we get at it a lot, but thank you. All right.
Thank you very much. She's my new friend. our friendship has not been consolidated yet. So I think we are closing. We want somebody to pray for us.
Thank you very much.
So please, we are praying.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
The ending is good. So lunch is ready. We are going for lunch at the pool. Please, I also need to give this announcement in a softer form. This is CSO readiness. So we should not be in the spirit of big things. There's some small TNT for us to be able to help us reach home. So